we are in Lummelunda, Gotland, Sweden, and with me here is Bo Lenander, an expert in caves and cave electronics. And we have a lot of equipment here. What is it for?
This one is a very old one. It's made in 1985. It's a double sideband transceiver, and it has got a CW transmitter for Morse code, and it has got also an automatic transmitter for giving reference signal from the cave to be found on the surface. We locate point on the surface that is right above an unknown or an interesting point in the cave. And this electromagnetic device works on 32 kilohertz. Here is the electronics, batteries, and this is the antenna. Here we have smaller antenna for use up on the surface, and this is a small ferrite antenna rod to use for shorter distance in the cave. We have a special little level here so we can accurate place it and orient it so it's vertical.
Yeah, and you use this to like position places in the caves that we can actually drill holes into the right place, or we can do a rescue of the cavers if there's some kind of problem, or what's the use of this?
Exactly that. One use is to locate points of interest in the cave, lift them up to the surface, and be able with high precision GPS devices have a correct map of the cave. Cave mapping, especially when you're diving through sumps, isn't easy to do, and you can make a map as good as you think you can do there, but to correct it, then we will have remote places in the cave, easy to find. We name them as fixed points, and then we can locate such a transmitter there and find it on the surface. Just to stretch the cave map to have it correctly positioned in relation to the surface.
Right. And what is this component? Looks like a gun or of some sort. Is it a laser gun or something else?
You're aware of that. It's a receiver. Batteries, correct position now.
Yes, it's beeping.
That is the transmission from a beacon that can be placed in the cave, like this one. Here we have a ferrite rod with a winding and electronics, batteries, and it's transmitting electromagnetic pulses. And now it's transmitting That means for me up on surface it is hanging. That means that the place is not in the water, it's in air in the cave. If a diver has it in the water, then it's heavy there, light there, it's flowing up and be standing like that in the water.
Yeah.
And then we can hear doot, doot, doot.
Yes. Yeah, so the signal changes based on the attitude.
This is a high power transmitter and receiver that we use to take precision positions in the cave. When we are in water, it's flowing up, standing vertical automatically. So I have the magnetic field vertical. If they are in air, it's hanging, also vertical field. Here we can set the message. When they are swimming with it, we have OK, and then dip, dip, dip. I know that they are swimming. We are coming to a special point of interest. Then they switch it to fix, and then it do long signals, and then I hear that on surface. I take the position, and then I measure the depth also to this point, and when I'm ready, I can transmit the signal. So,
and the depth you measure not through the strength of the signal, but rather the direction.
The direction of the magnetic field.
Okay.
In a special distance from the 0 point.
Yeah, so you go to 0 point and then
First.
you go to another point, a particular
Until
distance.
the magnetic field is leaning 49.5 degrees.
Okay.
And then the distance from that point to 0 times 2, that will be the depth down to the transmitter.
That's interesting.
And when I'm ready, I fire this transmitter. It's a transmitter also inside. And then this one is green lightning, like in a disco.
Ah, so it's two-way communication.
Flashing. It's a receiver here, listening for this.
Yeah.
And when this is green, they know down there, he's ready up there. We take it.
And does it have an emergency setting that
It
if you're
has
in
an
trouble?
emergency setting also. SOS, sending a SOS signal.
Yeah.
And another setting that is delay. When the divers go down, they have a special information for the surface personnel. Latest time out, time of alarm. And if they are in the cave and they find out, it will be hard to get out that time, but no problem. We have only a problem of time. And then they set it on DLI, and then I hear do-did-it, 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 do-did-it. The letter D for delay. And that's a message to the surface personnel, and they know, well, the time limit for alarm will be passed, but no problem. They have said it's only a timing problem. So we have used this very much up in the mountains in the Bjurelven cave.
And also, you use this equipment overall here in Lunda as well.
Yes. Actually, the drilled holes down to the cave, now there are 3 holes located by this device, and 2 holes by this, and 1 by this one.
And we never missed a place. We always
Find the cave down
when you drilled, there was
Yeah.
always the right place.
Yeah. And this is my best direction finding receiver. And if the magnetic field goes straight up, here it will be leaning out so, and all the way around like this. I search a place above the transmitter where we have the vertical field. And then here there are many windings And when the magnetic field is just touching, not going through, it's just touching, then we have very, very low signal, almost zero. And so we have maximum signal. This is not good to find the position above. But I do like this. And when I'm coming to the right position up on ground, where this level has got its bubble between the market, and I hear zero signal at the same time, then I know vertical field. So check it here also, the same situation. That's the ground zero, right above the transmitter. And then I'm walking aside until I have the next level, the bubble between the markings. And then I have got to the position where I have the direction of the magnetic field in 49.5 degrees leaning. And from that place to the ground zero, I measure with a measuring tape and take that measure time 2, and then I have the depth of this transmitter underground. So it's very easy. But you can, of course, make that for all angels. And so, but then you must calculate, and it's rather complicated. And it's not easy to do that in a rainstorm, but take time 2. That's, you can make it easy. 8.5 meter, 17 meter deep. Simple.
And what's the maximum depth that you can use these devices?
I have put this vertical on a house, and I have tested up on ground, and I have heard with this receiver, I have heard the signal from that in about 500 meter distance. But we know that through the rock it's around 250 meter.
That's pretty significant still. That's a big cave to go through.
Yeah.
250 meters.
But we have one location in Sweden. We have 240 meter Luleå cave up in north of Torneträsk. That's like that. But mostly we operate in more like 50 meter. Like Expedition Djurälven. There. In my cave.
Yeah.
I found it once upon a time. In that cave we have maximum of 48 meter down to the beacon in the cave. Mm-hmm. And most of the locations we have made something like 30 meter covered with gravel and marble.
Yeah. And here in Lumelunda it's somewhere between 20 and 15 meters, or
yes,
or 20 and 10 maybe.
20 and 12, something like between that. So it's very easy up here.
All right, thank you. And I think the next step is to go and try this out in the actual cave. So now we are in the cave. So Ralph here has a glorious task of standing still, holding the probe in one place in a cold cave. How cold is this? 6 degrees?
The cave is 6 or 7 degrees and the water is equally cold.
And I like this spot because the sound of the flowing water is so nice. And we are about 5 meters from a borehole, just over here. 18 meters to the surface. And this is just for us to make it easy to communicate in case there's some problem with the equipment. We're waiting for your acquisition of the signal, and then you can let us know that you found it.
There it is.
Yeah, we have found it.
You have found it.
We have
Success.
looked at that.
All right. It works.
Yeah, you can come back out. Very good.